Hi everyone and welcome back to 5 Minute Family Search. So now I would like to talk to you about spouses. We just did a video with the details and now let's talk about spouses. So here's the information from my grandfather, and I know that he had two wives. His first wife was Jane Claire Wildner. His second was Betty Arlene Baker. Here is their information underneath both of their names as well as their unique ID numbers. Now if I click on this down arrow to the right, there is what's called preferred spouse. So I leave it set at Jane Claire Wildner. She was my grandmother. I never did meet her. She passed away before I was born. But I leave her as the preferred spouse. That way, when I open up my family tree, it shows my mother and her siblings in my tree. If I didn't want that, if I wanted to put Betty as his main spouse or his preferred spouse, I wouldn't say main, I'm sorry, preferred spouse, I would come down here and I would click preferred spouse. But like I said, that changes my tree in the fact of when I open it every time, I would see his marriage with Betty taking the prominent spot. And I want that to be Jane Claire so that I can see my mother and all of our information listed in my tree. So here I am. I'm just going to move around and show you all the places. Everything on here again is clickable. Over here, if I was to click here on any of these pencils, I'm able to go in and edit information. So if she was the wrong spouse, I could fix that there. If they really weren't married, I could fix it. I don't need to always delete. I want to come over here and edit if the information is correct, but just needs to be modified. I could delete their divorce event. They were divorced. If there was another event I needed to add, I could do that there. So again, everything is clickable for you to go in and to add information. Anytime you see these pencils, you can click on those and they'll open up and you can go in and edit information here. So this is for James Albert Riesacker, my uncle. So I could come in and work on relationships, and I could change him from biological and I could change that out to being something different like an adopted father or something like that. And that is how you would change that information. Now, I'm going to say this again, I apologize, but I am going to tag in those other videos because I go through in extensive detail and explain how to do all this. And like I said, the screens are pretty much the exact same. As long as you know how to navigate the screens in this app, you'll be just fine. But going into deeper detail off of those other videos will be much better for you. So again, this is how I would add in or change any of their marriage information. If I wanted to add another child, I could do so right there. And let me come back out. Oops, I went out too far. Let's go back into him. So back here in spouses. So if he had another wife, I could click right here and I could just say add wife and go in and search her out and add her into his tree as well. And then with his wife, Betty, they didn't have children. I do need to add some marriage event in there and put in when and where they were married. So I would do that right here where that pencil is. If they had children, I could come in right here and I could add a child. But this again is how you navigate through the spouse tab in the app to add in spouses or to change any of the information for the children.